First spray a small patch on the window. Use your plastic card and scrape it into a square. Then round off each edge. Then with your finger break through on one side, kneading it off with a silicone brush. Pat it down with a brush, giving it a rough look. Spray from the centre and outwards and shape a chain link. Now to spray his bottom lip. If you aim the can to the side, you can get closer to the glass and you get a thicker line. Use your card to scrape it and neaten it off. When spraying his teeth, I would start in the middle. That way if you get the proportions wrong, you can always extend the bottom lip rather than starting again. You'll need a small scraper for this. I've got a normal scraper and cut it down to size. If you don't have anything like that, a piece of cardboard will do. The teeth are the lightest part on stitch, so we've got to start with that first, otherwise it won't look right. You got to do each tooth individually, not just spray it all and scrape it at the teeth, or it won't look right. For instance, if I was to spray the two bottom teeth I've already sprayed here and then scraped in the middle, you'll end up getting a bigger gap. I've been told by some people it's easier to copy off my work rather than copying off a photo of the actual image. So I've left all this in, so if you're confident in getting past the teeth, skip straight past. Spray over all the teeth for the gums, then mark out the bottom parts of the teeth. Remove all the marks and the smudges from inside the mouth before spraying the tongue. If you didn't do this and on the outside in the day, you may still see the smudge marks and it'll be too late to fix. Spray one side of the tongue and then shape it, and then spray the other side. Spray a big patch for his eye and then shape it. If you're not confident in doing it this way, you can always draw it out first, check it and then scrape it. Now for the darker part of the eye, draw it out first and then curve it out. You'll notice the sides of what you scraped out isn't neat, so if you spray again on the edge and then push out, I'm using a brush because it's a curve, and that'll neaten it off. Spray the reflection in his eyes and shape it. With small stuff like this, I'm using a silicone brush. Again, clean all the marks away and shade the bottom. Using a silicone brush, just mark slightly above the neat line you've already made. Repeat the same process of what you did on the right side on the left. On this side you need to cut into the eye for the nose. Clean away all the marks and then spray for the top of his head. Mark out the top of the eyes with a silicone brush. And then draw the top of his head. When you're happy with that, get your card out and scrape away all the excess spray. Use a small card to carve out its nose, and if you wanted to, first draw it out and then carve. With your silicone brush, draw out the darker parts of the wrinkles above the nose, and with snow spray, highlight the lighter parts. Spray a small patch at the top of the nose, and this will also cause a shading underneath. A quick mist underneath, and then carve out the nostrils, and then dab the bottom for extra shading. Lightly spray and shape the side of his face. This is the darkest part of his body, so there's not much spray that's needed here. Spray the edge of his ears and shape them. Then spray the inner and outer sides of his ears. Then shape them. Carve out his cut in his ear, then do it again on the other side. If you want a neat line on the inside, bend the card and scrape into it. Now spray his chest, which is his lightest part of his body. Draw out the outline first and then scrape it away. Because there's a lot of detail in the stitch, it's easy to go wrong, so if you give it a mist over and draw out the outline. Once you finish drawing it out, start on the feet because of the lighter parts and shape them. Spray his right side first, starting with the arm, shape it, and then move on to the rear. This will cause that natural shade behind his arm. He has a dark mark in his back, so carve it out and then spray again and shape it. Scrape away and clean the marks and excess spray. Once you finish that, spray over the lighter parts of the arm. Make sure the feet are done before starting the other arm. Spray just the left side, which is the lighter part of the arm, which creates that natural shade. We know where the back feet are going, so clean all the excess spray away, remove the marks, and then spray again for his back feet. Use your card and scrape into it rather than around, so you get a nice neat line. Using your foam, mark out the darker parts of the feet, and then spray in the centre, and it'll naturally cause a shade. Do this on them all. Then spray and shape his back tail. Now spray side to side to keep it nice and level for the floor. Stay away from the bottom part of the stitch to cause that natural shadow. Mark out the horizon. Spray a light mist over his front paws and mark out the nails. Then finally write his name on his dog collar.